Joined on the Crispin Flintoff Show at 5 a.m. in Gaza by Motasem Dalloul. Thank you so much for coming on, Motasem. I've been looking at some of your tweets, which are very helpful to everyone. This is from 2 days ago. Israel killed 104 Palestinians, including 46 children and 20 women. Another 253 people were injured, including 78 children and 84 women. While you were reporting this Israeli soldier has accused you on Twitter of being a jihadi terrorist and smeared you on Twitter, obviously putting a target on you as if you haven't had one on you already. And we're seeing more people being killed, and you're reporting on this. Your reporting is not stopping. You're telling everyone what's going on. You're being smeared. It's incredible what you're doing. Where are you now? Are you underground? How are you talking to me now? Where are you? I mean, not exactly where, but what are you in a tent?
At the beginning, I'm very thankful to you for hosting me. I am now in the Gaza City. I think if you can hear in the background explosions and gunfire, Israeli explosion and gunfire. I am now in a makeshift tent because the Israeli occupation authorities haven't allowed the entry of tents yet. And we are living in the middle of continuous Israeli gunfire and strikes from time to time. They strike homes, they strike places and targeting infrastructure, mainly east of the Gaza City and in the northern parts of the Gaza Strip and east of Rafah and Khan Yunis. 2 days ago, the Israeli occupation authorities claimed that the Palestinian resistance broke the ceasefire deal and targeted more than 100 attacks that killed 109 people, including more than 45 children and 30 women. They claimed that they carried out targeted attacks against terrorists, but as you see, most of the people killed by the Israeli occupation attacks and are civilians, mainly children and women and elderly. They targeted even Al Shifa Hospital, which was targeted several times during the 2-year genocide. And they claim that they are doing this in response to Hamas breaking the ceasefire, while Hamas said that it didn't carry out. And we are on the ground. We don't see that there are any violation from the side of the Palestinian resistance to the ceasefire. And the mediators said, the Qatari Prime Minister said it very clearly, said that Hamas and the Palestinian resistance are committed 100% to the terms of the ceasefire. The Israeli occupation authorities claim that Hamas sniped an Israeli soldier, while if there is, and they declared the name and released a picture of this soldier, but if there is a really Israeli soldier who was killed, he might committed a suicide, he might have been killed before the end of the genocide or before reaching the ceasefire, or I don't rule out this. They might have killed him in order to find a pretext to violate the ceasefire and kill the people they have wanted to kill. They announced that they killed about 30 resistance members. So that after reloading their bank of targets, they wanted a pretext to break the ceasefire in order to carry out the attacks and kill these people and accomplish the mission.
I don't think people really anywhere believed Israel would honor the ceasefire. But what I am disturbed about is your own situation. The ceasefire, you reported that it was broken on the day that it was supposed to have taken place.
The ceasefire has been broken every day by the Israeli occupation, away from the heavy series of attacks carried out by the Israeli occupation military 2 days ago, which claimed the life of more than 100 Palestinians. One of the attacks killed a family of 11 members, a father and the 3 women and 7 children. And they claimed that these people or this man took his family with pickup and they crossed the yellow line agreed upon in the ceasefire deal. But satellite images showed that he was targeted. Even these satellite images broadcast by the BBC showed that they were targeted more than 150 meters far from the yellow line. So that they are killing people, they kill Palestinians, they find or raise any pretext to justify shedding the Palestinian blood. What about what's going on in the West Bank, the occupied West Bank? Settlers backed by the Israeli occupation forces every day attack Palestinian. Now there is the season of olive harvest. They every day attack olive harvesters in most of the Palestinian villages and cities in the occupied West Bank. They attack people. Tonight, the Israeli occupation forces murdered a 14-year-old Palestinian boy in the occupied West Bank. Last night, they reincarcerated a freed Palestinian prisoner who was released from Israeli jails through the prisoner swap, which is part of the ceasefire deal. They continue their attacks on the Palestinians in the Gaza Strip and in the occupied West Bank and everywhere, and even abroad.
I was told that your son was hit. The last time we spoke, we heard about really horrific tragedies for your family. Can you tell us what happened with your son?
My son Ibrahim was killed by an Israeli airstrike on the 8th of October, just one day before Trump's declaration that the Palestinian resistance had accepted his deal or the terms of his deal. He was trying to go along with his friends to move from Gaza City. We were starving. He, along with his friends, tried to go to the south of the Gaza Strip in order to get some food. The military carried out an airstrike that killed him. We didn't know about this except 2 days later when one of his friends who survived the attack returned back to Gaza City and told us that all of the group were killed. Ibrahim was the third of the third one of my sons who was killed during the Israeli genocide. His brother Yahya was killed in May 2024. He was with me along with the family. He was hit with a bullet in the head. And when I looked to the direction of where the bullet came, I saw Israeli tanks about 200 to 300 meters from us hit in the head, so that and his head exploded immediately. I recognized that he was killed, so I took my other children and all of the neighbors who were in the scene and fled away, fearing that the Israelis will shoot at us again. And we couldn't take the body of my son. After 1 week, there was a kind of calm in the area. We returned back and found the Israeli tank ran over his body. We collected the body and buried it. The first one of my sons to be killed was Abu Bakr, who was only 2.5 years. He was killed with his mother. My wife was killed, Abu Bakr. My wife smeared with the blood, and my little baby was smeared with blood, and his head and the body were smashed. In that attack, more than 20 people were killed, along with my wife and my baby. One of my other children was wounded in that attack. He was seriously wounded, but alhamdulillah, he recovered soon. This is the kind of life that everyone in Gaza lived during the past 2 years of genocide. It was very difficult, scaring, fearful, frightened. All of these things together horrifying. Sometimes you run out of words to describe the situation.
I find it really difficult to take in what you've said, but what about your sleep? I've just noticed you've been posting on Twitter 2 hours ago, 1 hour ago. This is the middle of the night. Do you sleep?
I try to sleep, but I can't sleep all night peacefully because every 20 minutes, 30 minutes, or 1 hour at most, there is Israeli bombing, there is Israeli gunfire. All of us still fearful, and we don't know what is the criteria that Israeli occupation military is following or adopting when it plans to break the ceasefire and target a certain area, so that everyone in Gaza is still fearing that he would be the next target for the Israeli occupation military. So that we can't, even if there is no gunfire and no bombing, we can't sleep. I can sleep 20 minutes, then I get up and scared and frightened, feeling that there is something would kill me, or the Israelis might be trying or planning to kill me. If there is a bombing, I think that it is targeting me or my children or my family or my relatives or my neighbors. If there is gunfire, and because the Israelis aren't far from us, we always hear the sound of tanks and the military vehicles while moving, and they are trying to use certain kind of sound amplifiers. You fear that the tanks are moving about 2 kilometers from you. You feel that they are moving around you. And at the same time, the Israeli drones, which are flying 24 hours over our heads, are making unbelievable noise pollution. The sound of the drones itself is traumatizing everyone, because the drones are used to spy on us. The drones are used to attack and kill us. The drones are used to declare or announce Israeli statements, warnings, or threats against us. The day before yesterday, there was an Israeli drone in the city of Gaza warning us and threatening us.
Wow. So you're not sleeping. What about the food? You said there's still a blockade going on. Are you getting any food?
We are getting some food, but we are still suffering from a severe shortage of food. We don't have, and the kind of food which is available here is very scarce. It is only canned food, and excluding meat, excluding eggs. We don't have vegetables, we don't have fruits, we don't have meat, we don't have chicken, we don't have cheese, we don't have anything related to milk. So that even if we have 5 meals a day, we will still suffering from malnutrition, because the food we have don't include the elements needed for the normal people, not the starving people or people who have been starving for 2 years. Most of them are wounded and patients. At the same time, we don't have medicine. All hospitals aren't working properly, because most of them were attacked one or two or three or four times or 5 times. The main and the major hospitals in Gaza, Al Shifa Hospital and the European hospitals, the Al Shifa Hospital was completely destroyed in the past during the genocide. It was attacked, it was invaded, stormed by the Israeli troops several times, and it was completely destroyed. The European hospital was destroyed, and it is beyond the yellow line. In the Israeli side, no one is able to reach it. We don't have medicine. Imagine when someone is suffering from the consequences of an injury caused by the Israeli occupation, or a patient who needs a painkiller. He goes around all pharmacies, all hospitals, and don't find one bill. The Israeli occupation haven't allowed the entry of medicine, the free flow of food as agreed upon in the ceasefire deal. They didn't reopen the Gaza crossings. They didn't reopen the Rafah crossing for people. My mother has been stranded in Egypt for 2 years, since before the start of the genocide. She lost two of her sons, one daughter. She lost more than 40 grandchildren, and she is crying every day and trying to come and see at least the graves of her sons and the grandchildren. But she is unable to come back to Gaza, because of the closure of Rafah crossing. The Israelis is still putting full restrictions on everything.
What's your situation with this Israeli soldier who's smearing you? Are you being targeted? Do you think they're targeting you?
This is Lieutenant Colonel Nadav Shoshani, who is the official spokesman for the Israeli occupation for the international community. This person has been smearing me during the past few days. I am taking this smear campaign seriously because the Israelis have smeared me in the past in 2018 during my coverage of the Great March of Return, the peaceful demonstrations on the eastern side of the Gaza Strip in 2018, calling for the Israeli occupation to lift the strict siege imposed in Gaza. And after smearing me, they shoot me in the chest. And I remained in coma for several days and suffered from serious injuries in the chest, in the liver, in the lung. But Alhamdulillah, I recovered. So this time they started smear campaign against me. So I'm taking this seriously. I'm afraid that they are planning to target me, to kill me because of my truthful, credible coverage of the situation in Gaza. I'm disclosing their crimes. I'm reporting their crimes very closely from the ground. They sometimes claim that I am not in Gaza. They sometimes claim that I am an MI5 spy. I am an agent for international spying agencies. They claim that, and they even sometimes recruit their Arabic speaking bots to smear me.
We've recently seen from in this country and also other countries is the way that the flotilla people were treated by Israel, like Sarah Wilkinson and Greta Thunberg and others, that we've had an insight into how Israel treats the people who they detain, but these people were treated in a very good way compared with how Palestinians are treated. Can you tell us what happens to Palestinians when they are detained?
I met with people who were detained and spent time in Israeli prisons. They refer to the Israeli prisons as slaughter houses or torture camps. They tell you stories you can't imagine. They beat them, they rape them, they put sticks on their asses, they put hot water on them, they keep them stripped in cold weather. They unleash dogs on them. They make them crawl on their foot and hands. They ask them to beat each other. Otherwise, they will be punished. They don't offer them a treatment for their wants. They don't offer them a treatment for their sufferings. They keep them. Many people detained with good health and released with chronic diseases. One person who was released a couple of weeks ago through the prisoner swab, he lost one of his legs and two eyes under Israeli torture, inside the Israeli torture camps. And then you don't imagine the trauma when one of the prisoners is released and find all of his family had been killed and erased. I met with a prisoner, and when he was released, he found that his three daughters and wife, all of the prisoners, his family was lost. They don't know the whereabouts of him because they said that he lost his mind. Yesterday he went missing, and they don't know where he went because he might have fell in a big hole, or he might have shoot him. He might have killed himself. He lost his mind.
So I can imagine mental illness, the trauma of all this stuff happening in not only in prison, but when you're just trying to survive from all the shooting and the drones and lack of sleep and the lack of food. How do you keep yourself strong mentally?
I have faith that they can't harm me except by the will of Allah. I have big faith with my cause, my people's cause. I am defending a just cause, so that I have to stay strong in order to continue defending this cause, which is the most just and fair cause on earth.
I think many people outside Gaza feel the same thing, that your cause is the just cause and we have to support you. And we are seeing so much more evidence of Israel's war crimes, Israel's mistreatment of people, the horrific stories that you've told us. I will obviously show this to everyone on YouTube and on other social media platforms. You say you need to do the internet in the morning, early in the morning. Why is that? I mean, it's 5 o'clock in the morning.
You might know that we don't have electricity, we don't have internet connection, we don't have communication, we don't have anything of these basic services in Gaza since the start of the genocide 2 years ago. So that I am mainly depending on an eSIM, internet from eSIMs. And I don't know why the internet is strong only in the morning. And all the day, I can only use it for tweets, for written posts and tweets. But in the morning, most of the time, it is strong enough for video and voice calls.
I think your determination to tell the story is incredible. It inspires me to get up. I'd never get up at 3 in the morning. Never get up at 3 in the morning. Never. I know it sounds like a luxury because you don't sleep, but I would never get up at 3 in the morning. What you're doing makes me want to get up at 3 in the morning. And I will keep coming. I will keep getting up at 3 in the morning for you. Okay? Because
Thank
I,
you.
I think you're an inspiration. What you're doing, and you're constantly telling people what's happening. We need you. You're important for humanity. We need you. And I want to. I know that other people would be saying the same thing, not just me. So I want you to know that we are thinking about you all the time. And I'm so sorry about your son and your other family who you've lost. But we're on the same side as you, okay?
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
And
Beautiful.
I'll let
Beautiful.
you go and do some other morning videos because you don't get much time otherwise. So I don't want to take all your internet. Thank you very much.
Oh,
See you soon.
bye bye.
Bye
See you
bye.
soon.
Bye bye. Bye
Bye
bye.
bye.